The guys on fire. Ducks are 17-2-2 in their last 21 against Edmonton. Edmonton 3-6-1 in their last 10 games. Like I mentioned, they're sort of falling back down to earth. You look at Talbot. He made 34 saves against the Ducks on New Year's Eve, but Edmonton could only get 21 shots in that game. They're not going to get a lot of shots. It should be much like that in this game, where you see the shots just completely lopsided towards Anaheim. The other game, 37-27, was the other shots when they played earlier this year. I like Anaheim. I'm going to keep rolling with them. You get them at a real cheap price on the second night of a back-to-back on the road. It almost looks too good, but I'll ride the Anaheim train. I'm not scared of it. It opened at 130. It's got bet down a little bit, but I'll still ride with it. And then the other one I like is the San Jose Tampa Bay, the over 5. That's the other one. So that's where I'm at with that. And again, on college basketball, Texas under 136. Oh my goodness. Well, there you go. There's a free client play. We talked about Davidson -3, Rutgers under, but then the Ole Miss plus 9.5, and the Creighton plus 5.5 is where I'm at with those ones. So, what else? Got some time here. I was going to ask a couple people's opinions. Right? I want to know where everyone's head at, if you are, because obviously if you're listening to this show, you know it is a baseball show on hold, is what this is. We're talking college basketball, but it's been created for baseball and it will always be about baseball. Who wins the World Series this year? That's what I want to know. And then the other question is, and I like it, and I just seen a story about it, but I think maybe exactly what Washington Nationals needed was someone like Dusty Baker. And I think that NL East is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. The Mets, Washington, and I really like Miami this year. But what did you guys think? Where are you guys at? Who wins the World Series this year? I don't really have an answer for it. So if you give me a team, not going to bash you on it. Just wondering where everyone's head's at with it. Who wins? Is Barry Bonds, a couple big stories, is Barry Bonds going to be an effective hitting coach down in Miami? Or is he going to juice everybody up? How will the Dodgers do without Greinke? How will Arizona do with Greinke? Will this Mets staff have a big sophomore slump? Can Scott Boras, for the love of God, just let these kids sign before free agency, you greedy bastard? Holding everything up. Do you guys have no idea what some of these kids make? These rookie pitchers make nothing. All this young talent you see around the league right now, let's put it this way. If you take David Price's yearly salary and cut it down into what would average be whatever his starts, making like $1.5 million per start, right? If you take Mookie Betts, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Xander Bogaerts, you take all of their salaries, it doesn't even add up to what David Price makes in one start. They all make $500,000 a year. So, and then you get guys like Scott Boras that tell these kids, hold out a couple more years, hold out a couple more years, you'll make millions, hold out a few more years. Yeah, well, you know what? How about let them sign? Let them make millions now. Like, really, you greedy fuck. LV Sportsbook will release Major League's win totals at noon on Sunday. That seems to be the time this year. This weekend, a lot of books will be opening those up. And I'm excited about it. I know there's a few we want to get on now. I'm interested to see how a lot of these guys are going to do. I think Chris Davis for Oakland, going to Oakland, was a great trade, actually. But wanted to get you guys' take on it. I don't know where everybody is today. No one wants to answer questions today. The chat box going a million miles an hour when I'm trying to fly through things and get a million questions. Then when I have time, everyone slows it down. So no one has an opinion, I guess. No one. Who is going to win the World Series? Who's going to win the national championship in basketball? That's a good question. I want to know how many pools around the league, around, office pools and everything like that, right? This year, how many are going to be won by someone that couldn't name more than 2 players in college basketball? Jose Bautista doesn't like the Petco projections. Huh. The Buzz. Yankees. You want my opinion on the Yankees this year? I think the Yankees added Chapman this is the year they can finally spend, okay? I think Houston getting Evan Gattis to a 1-year deal for $3.4 million is a great deal, but the Yankees can finally spend. They were in salary cap hell. They were paying for every dollar that they brought in, they had to pay an extra dollar. So whatever those contracts you were seeing over the last 3 years, that the new ones, say it was for $10 million, they were paying $20 million. They finally got under the luxury tax, and now they can start spending. They go get Chapman, that's great. But you look at the Yankees last year, they were 72-2 when leading after 7 innings. So, I don't know if the need was in the bullpen. I get that baseball is going to a 5-inning starter, and you bring in your 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th guy, and it worked for Kansas City. But, it was the first time in Major League Baseball's history that the team with the least amount of starting pitching innings, meaning the starter, you add up all the innings pitched by starters, was the least in the league, and they won the World Series. Usually it don't work. Usually bullpen guys' arms won't last that long. And I think Kansas City's going to have a lot of trouble. Yeah, they have, the starters are a little better this year as far as starting pitching, but I think they're going to get worn out. 2 long playoff runs. Now, now you're going to have to go in there and try to do it again. I'd be very wary, especially against a good division, man. That's a good division. You got Kansas City, Cleveland, which will be up there. They got the starting pitching and the horses to do it. They added some pieces. They got a great coach, great organization. You look at Detroit. Detroit, like I said, starting pitching got much better. Think they'll be doing a little better. The offense will be there. Will Verlander stay healthy? We shall see. The White Sox are the White Sox. Who am I missing in that division? Kansas City. I'm missing someone I like a lot, actually. Oh, Minnesota. Minnesota, they got some young fucking talent, man. And they can crush lefties. Crush lefties. And a lot of these guys in this division throw out a lot of lefties. The White Sox in general. That's why I think the White Sox are going to struggle. They got a lot of left-handed starters. You got a Detroit Tiger team that can rake lefties. You got a Minnesota team that can kill lefties. You got a Kansas City team that can hit anybody. Cleveland struggles with lefties a little bit. But point being, I think the White Sox are going to struggle for that reason. What is it? I got Kansas City winning it all, Ben. Well, I'm glad I could just touch on that for you. And in MLB, I got the Nationals. Oh, you got Kansas winning it all. Got you. In the MLB, the Nationals. Okay. Buzz, what you think of what? The Yankees rotation? Is that what you're talking about? I think it's dangerous. I think that, we'll see. It's old. We know that. But at the same time, and the other problem is the money that's being spent at that position that's holding them to hell, that Cashman can't really do much with because no one's going to really, no one's going to take him. And I'm talking about Sabathia. I'm sorry. I mean, he's coming out of rehab, right? He just left the team during the playoff run and went to rehab. You get Tanaka, who we don't even know if he's healthy enough to pitch. He's not right now. Will he be? I don't know. Coming off of Tommy John, which means he probably has not an oblique, an arm strain, basically. His muscles in his arms, in his bicep, Jesus. Probably has a bicep strain like everyone does coming off of Tommy John. Pineda I like. Evaldi I like. And then who would be number 5? I don't even know who would be the 5th one. Severino, I guess, right? I'm not sure. Stephen Hughes, sup, Sean? Listened to you on Jeff's show the other day. Oh, what's up, Steve? Yeah, I'm here each and every day. And Jeremy, what's up? Nationals or Dodgers will win it all. I'm not sold on the Dodgers. I think the managerial change was pretty good. But, who knows? I think in that division is tough, man. I mean, I know the Dodgers are probably projected to win over 90 games like they are always, but if you watch that team, they are a very profitable team. They're a team they're not giving max effort every night like Kansas City or St. Louis, right? There are tons of spots throughout the year that the Dodgers are just not going to show up, period. Usually after certain starts, or if they got a day off coming up, or if they're playing 6 or 7 consecutive games, they usually have a brutal schedule to start. But either way, I'd be careful. You got the Diamondbacks there that are improved, although I don't know how much Greinke's ball is going to work in Arizona. I haven't really looked at his numbers in Arizona. San Diego's going to suck, but they're rebuilding. And the Giants, it's an even number year. They're due to win the World Series, right? So I don't like the Dodgers this year, to be honest with you. But like I said, I'm actually digging in on the NL West now because it's the first division that we're going to go to when we start the preview. We're starting in Arizona, where the most news was being made in the offseason, bringing in a beat writer there. Then we're going to go to San Diego, and then probably up to San Francisco, then to the Dodgers to close it out. But I got to see what's up with Puig. He could be a cancer. We'll see how much trading they do towards the deadline and what they do. Oh, and then the Rockies. Of course, the Rockies. The Rockies are thrown in there too. So, Donnie Ray, do you see a picture of Pineda? Do I see a picture of Pineda? What do you mean? What's up, Eugene? Do I see a picture of Pineda? Why? Is he like 20 pounds overweight, if that's what you're asking me? Or are you asking me if I think Pineda is a good pitcher? If you're asking me if Pineda is going to be a good pitcher, I think he can be. I think he's the oldest 27-year-old in the world. But I don't know if he has the depth, the mindset to pitch a complete season. But I think his arm is more like 32, 34 than 27. I wouldn't surprise me if he came in overweight, if that's what the issue is. He's hanging around with Hanley Ramirez. He looks like he trained with Bartolo Colon. Well, he's probably on the same path. And like I said, he's probably not much younger than him either. Can the Mariners win the AL West? Yes, the AL West is up for grabs. Can they win the AL West? I don't know if they can beat Texas. Texas is it seems to be my early team this year as far as who I'm liking a lot. You look at that Texas team, they didn't have any of their starting pitching, and they still won 88 games last year. Yu Darvish didn't pitch shit. Their top 3 guys didn't really do anything. And they're locked and loaded on there. As far as Seattle, yeah, Keith Law, and I forget what he was talking about. Somebody, I think Alex Jackson. I think he young kid to watch out for Seattle. Again with Seattle, it's a tough place to play travel wise, especially. They got the pitching obviously with Uikama. I like a lot. We know about King Felix. Now you got Tawani Walker and Wade Miley, who sort of came around to started pitching better in Boston as he's getting acclimated to the American League. I think he'll find it better out there. I think that the Angels are in big trouble. They're a veteran team that's injury prone, and they have the worst minor league system in baseball. So they're only a couple of injuries away from really tanking. I know they got Benoit as far as Seattle, of course, for the closers. Who else did they get? Nuno, I got. Who's closing for them? Because Benoit's not closing.